helping in their community, and then at the end of it say, and God, it sucked. Oh, I hated it. It was horrible. I'm so bummed I helped those people out. I've never heard that. Because I don't really think that happens. I'm going to talk to you guys about volunteering today. I looked online, did a little research, because I know there are lots of benefits to volunteering. I mean, I experienced them. But I wanted to know what, the experts have to say. The benefits include making a difference. You can positively impact your community. Meet new people, make new friends, get to know a new subset of people that you wouldn't run into otherwise. Be part of a community, which is related to that. It's people outside your friends and family that you normally interact with. I've met people through my volunteering efforts that I wouldn't normally hang out with just because we wouldn't run across each other. And learn new skills. It's a good opportunity to pick up something new that you're not doing at your job or wherever. Take on a challenge, find some of your hidden talents. So have fun, and your health. It actually improves your health as well as the people that you're helping often. So over the last couple of years now, I've gotten a lot more involved in volunteering. In my past, I volunteered off and on throughout my adult life, I'd say, and it's really been the last couple of years that I've really picked a couple of organizations, because I was kind of all over the place before. I was like, I want to help everyone, and I volunteer a little bit here and there. It's been the last couple of years that I've gotten really focused, and I realized, I love birds, as a lot of you know. I friggin' talk about birds all the time. And so I decided to get really involved with Sacramento Audubon. I've started helping at some of our education and outreach events. I have signed up to give a talk to a club later, I think it's in August. I'm going to be doing that talk, so Toastmasters is helping me do that. And other than that, I've been helping at, we have a booth. We usually staff a booth at various festivals and nature-related events throughout the area. And I would definitely say that my experience with volunteering it's marked all these boxes, everything that I just listed. I really feel like I'm making a difference. I'm positively impacting the community. I'm having really good positive interactions with people that come to these events. And it's fun to engage in these conversations with people who also care about birds or didn't care about birds and now they're interested. I've definitely met a lot of new people. I've made some new friends who have even led to other volunteer opportunities. It was a woman that I met at an event where I was staffing a booth for Audubon, that she told me about how much they needed volunteers at Splash. And so I spoke about Splash last week. It's a vernal pool education and protection organization. And so because of one volunteer experience, I got connected with another volunteer experience. And so I've expanded my volunteer repertoire right there. And I consider her a friend. I'm so friends with her. And I feel like I am part of a community. They just recently convinced me to join the board of directors of Sacramento Audubon. And when it's funny because I'll go to an event or I'll go to a meeting and I'll meet someone that I hadn't met before who's active in Audubon, and they'll be like, oh, Heather, I've heard of you. And I'm like, okay, well, that's great. So I definitely feel like I'm a part of this community, and that it's a good feeling. It's nice to feel like, oh, these people want me here. They're excited to have me here, and I'm actually helping them out. Learning new skills, as I mentioned before. Through Splash, my volunteering there, I've gotten pretty good at some plant ID that I never knew before, because we're out there looking for weeds. And in fact, last night I was out there and saw an individual of yellow glandweed, which we've been targeting, and it was in a whole different place, unexpected, didn't know that it would be there. But just from working with it, I was like, oh, there's yellow glandweed! So I pulled it out, because it was like in a pool. So I definitely feel like I have this new skill. And then back to the taking on a challenge and finding a hidden talent. So I am not a huge fan of kids. I'll just put it out there. They're okay, but they're not my number one people to hang out with. But when I'm at these events and these kids come to the table, I actually I have fun talking to these kids about birds. And they're like asking about feathers, and I'm teaching them about the feathers, and they're pretty well behaved because their parents are with them. That's usually what bugs me, is having to deal with that. So it's kind of a perfect situation where I can educate these kids, and I love seeing their eyes light up when they figure out, oh, this is a robin, and why is this a robin and not a shorebird, and why are there, look, their legs are different, and it's really fun. And I do feel like I feel a rush every time I leave one of these events, because I'm being social, I'm talking to people, I'm getting out. So I really do feel that it's good for my health. And a lot of these are outside events, so I'm outside. It's great. So I would encourage any of you who are thinking about volunteering to do it. I think it's different for everyone. You have to find your passion. I have a friend who is interested in the legal field. She volunteers for the Innocence Project, and she loves that. I have a friend I work with here who's an engineer. He works with Engineers Without Borders. So there's so many different things you can get involved. You can do something that's completely unrelated to your career. You could go volunteer with all sorts of places. I have some tips that I want to hand out for getting started. I'll just pass this and take one and pass it around. You can take that home with you and get some ideas if you're thinking about starting to volunteer. And I'll just leave you with a couple of inspirational quotes. Mother Teresa said, "I alone cannot change the world, but I can cast a stone across the waters to create many ripples." Margaret Mead said, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." So I encourage you to try out this blessing known as volunteering.